Hello everyone, welcome to Mr. Chen's classroom again. Today in math we'll continue with Pythagoras theorems, and before we start I'm gonna go through what we have learned last videos. Last videos we talked about right angle triangle, which is this one. Okay, that's a right angle triangle with 90-degree angles that will be categorized as right angle triangle. And we also talk about the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is the longest side of the right angle triangle. Okay. So this lesson, I will introduce the formulas for Pythagoras theorems, which is c squared equal to a squared plus b squared, and I will talk about how the formulas works and the proof for the formulas, why it is working, and we will conclude the lesson after that. So let's begin. So right angle triangle, you already know how to look for the hypotenuse, which is the longest side, longest length of the right angle triangle. And the other two sides is pretty much just called the shoulder sides for now. Shoulder length. Okay. There are actually names to it, but I'm not going to tell you that first. But because I want to focus on the formulas instead. So c squared equal to a squared plus b squared. What happened here is the c squared is always going to be the hypotenuse. Okay, the c squared is a hypotenuse, more of a c. Okay, so the other two will be the other two shoulder lengths. So a and b is the shoulder length. So if I'm going to write it, it will be something like this. I'm gonna draw a new right angle triangle. Okay, so that's the right angle, that's the hypotenuse, okay, which is also represented as c, and these two can be a and b, or it can be the other way around, it doesn't matter. But for this video I'm just gonna make that as an a and the other shoulder one as a b. So what this formula is technically saying is the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the square of the a and b added together. The square of both of these added together will become. Alright, what does that mean? So it pretty much means that the square, if I'm gonna draw a square here, and will be the same as that square and that square added together. So let's look at this for a second. Let's pretend the value for a and b is r 3 centimeters, b is 4 centimeters, and c is 5 centimeters. Okay, so that means this length is 5 centimeters, this length is 3 centimeters, and this length is 2 centimeters. So let's see if the square of the hypotenuse, which is c, is equal to the square of the other two. So let's write them down. So c is 5, so you need to square that 5, and you have to do the same for both. So a, you have to square that, and b, you have to square that. As we know, 5 squared is 5 times 5, which is 25. And 3 squared is 9, which is 3 times 3. And 4 squared is 4 times 4, which is 16. So this will become 25 centimeters square, okay, because that's the area. That's why we squared it. And the other one is 9 centimeters square plus 16 centimeters square. So do they both add up to the sum of the square of hypotenuse? The answer is yes. Okay. So both of them will add up to be the same. So this is why we use the formulas. So with the knowledge of these formulas, you will able to solve the Pythagoras theorems if one of the side is not given. So if one of the side is not given, let's say the hypotenuse is not given, okay? If it is not given, you will be able to find what that is. So let's pretend the 5 is not there for a second, 5 centimeters. So you're given the shorter two lengths, which are 3 and 4 respectively. So let's do it over here. So c squared equal to a squared plus b squared. Okay, so we don't know what this is and we want to find that out. So again, c squared is equal to a squared, which is 3 centimeters square, plus b squared is 4 square centimeters square. Make sure you square that, okay, because that's from there. You have to include that. So c squared will end up be 3 square is 9 and 4 square is 16. So centimeter, both of them are centimeters square. So c squared will end up being 25 centimeters square. What is the length of the hypotenuse alone? Remember, this is the square, and so you have to get rid of the square. The opposite of the square is a square root. So you have to square root the square, and you have to do the same for both sides. So when you square them, when you square root them, c squared will become c, and square root of 25 is going to be 5. Okay, so 5 centimeters. That is what the hypotenuse we're going to be. There you go, look at that. That's how you solve that. However, if one of the side is not given, let's say one of the shorter side is not given. So let's say the 3 centimeters is not given, but this 5 centimeters is given. How are you gonna find that? That will be your x centimeters. What is that x going to be? So to do, I want you to try that first, and pause these videos and try it first. If you can't do it, then or if you have done it, you can go back and continue the videos and see if you got it right or not. So I'm going to show you how that is done. Again, we'll use the same formula: c squared equal a squared, c squared equal to a squared plus b squared. So c squared is, c is given, which is 5, so 5 squared, that's no problems. And a is not given, okay, so a here is not given. So a here we're going to be x squared, because we don't know what that is. And b is given, which is 4 squared. So 5 squared is 25. X squared we don't know, so we're just gonna write them down, plus 16. Okay, 4 squared is 16. So what happens next is you're gonna have to isolate this x and make sure you square root that afterwards. Okay, so let's get into it. So to get rid of the plus 16, you have to minus 16. When you minus 16, you have to do it on both sides, so that means 25 also minus 16. Okay, remember it's not 16 minus 25, it's 20, the bigger number minus the smaller number, whichever comes first, as in because the 25 is there, so you start with 25 minus, and then equal to x squared. So this one is gone, okay, because plus 16 minus 16 is 0, so we don't need that. So x squared is equal to 9. Okay, so because 25 minus 16 is 9. So from there, x squared is 9. What is x? So x, pretty much you need to square root that, and you have to square root that as well, which will equal to 3 centimeters. So that is how you use Pythagoras theorem to find one of the length. Doesn't matter whether it's the hypotenuse or the two shortest length, if one of them is not given. Okay, thank you so much for listening, and see you in the next video.